Hey guys, welcome to the Lauren Hour podcast with your girl Alora Dannon. I am so happy to be here today because guess what? Today is a beautiful day. I am here, I am blessed. And let me say, my panel, you guys look so good today. Welcome, welcome. Alrighty. So today I have two very special guests, but I'm gonna take the time and introduce my guest. This is my beautiful cousin, prophetess Wolifa Baker. Um, Go ahead, cousin. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Oh, you gotta unmute your mic.
So sorry.
That's okay.
So I'm Prophetess Baker. I was born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio. I graduated from Youngstown State University with a BA in law and forensic. Graduated with a bachelor's from Seminary College. I travel the world preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. I have a women that I minister to, I mentor rather, and I do women conferences, and we talk about empowering women. I think it's so important that they are empowered, and let them know that I want you to don't forget how great you are. Don't forget how amazing you are. It doesn't matter what you've been through. You are an amazing woman. And we as women, as my cousins say, we go through a lot. We endure a lot. We persevere, and we learn how to make it and on broken pieces, and let God figure out the rest. So thank you for allowing me to share briefly. So I hope I didn't take up too much time.
Oh, no, no, you're fine. Hey, B, my co host, Mr. Handsome, go ahead and introduce your guest.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Bvaz here, / Brandon, coming at you from Philadelphia, PA. And my special guest to my right is the very special lady in my life, and, celebrating Women's Month as my mother, Eileen. It's kind of weird saying it, but that's my mother. So, Masha, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Eileen. I was born and raised in New York and in Puerto Rico. I graduated from Youngstown State University with a bachelor's in not arts and science, but in criminal justice and a minor in social work. I have my master's from the University of Phoenix for administrative justice and security, and I've been working in law enforcement for 31 years.
Wow, that is
And
amazing.
yeah, and I'm a single mother. I raised my children by myself. I went to school with them. They came with me because I had night classes and I couldn't leave them alone at home. I worked 3 jobs, all part times, just to make sure that they had clothes and food and all their basic necessities. It wasn't easy. I didn't get remarried till I think Brandon was like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
And I was alone with them from him being 4 years old until he was 16. And that's what I did. I did as much as I could for them with what I had, available.
Well, first of all, let me say congratulations to both of you ladies because let me tell you something. Having children and going to college is something that is not easy. And just going to school to elevate yourself, period, is a feat in itself. And I just want to tell you two beautiful ladies, congratulations. And we appreciate you and we see you, ladies. Okay. Yes, Brandon. Okay. So my other two panelists, we can't forget about you guys. Go ahead, D. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
This is D Page, Mr. Women's Empowerment Month. Salute himself. I said that wrong, of course. You can find me at the VD6 show. That's all I got for now.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis.
Okay.
Hey guys, Jaslyn, aka Jazz, Miss Tolbert, whatever you want to call me. Originally from Youngstown, living in Atlanta. Wife. I got a 1-year-old named Ivy.
Little
And
sister.
yeah, aka Little Sis, yeah. And that's all I got.
Cute.
You want her?
No.
Uh, I love her, but
But the best thing about other people's children is you can go like this. Oh, it's so cute.
here you go.
Yeah. And
Bye.
plus, since she's at that wanna roll and stand and get into everything before she walks stage, and I don't think nobody wants her. So
Yep.
Well, guys, today we just want to get a little bit deep. So we don't really get deep too quick into the show. But in the climate that we are in today, I think so many people have been emotionally affected about, I mean, just with trauma, period. Trauma, COVID, being secluded. And a lot of people are finding that they have to change careers, they have to start over. And a lot of people question themselves of why did they become complacent for so long in certain positions? Because we see so many people who've worked 20 plus years in certain jobs and they start over, you know. And so, like I said, today's message, I really want to figure out who we are, how we're going to rediscover ourselves. uh Prophetess, I think I want you to go ahead first and give me a little bit of insight on how you feel about us rediscovering ourselves or peeling those layers, as you say.
Well, for me, when I think about that, I think about I was reading this in the book of John where the Bible said, and Jesus had needs to go to Samaria, and then he went to Samaria and he met the woman at the well, and
Mm-hmm.
this is where it came. It was in my spirit of like, wow, this to look at it subjectively, this woman had a lot of layers on her, and when you look at an onion, the onion have a whole lot of layers on her, and she was a grown woman. And he said, you have five husbands, and the sixth husband that you have now is not your husband. So if you look at the layers, like each peeling meant something. And
Mm-hmm.
so he had to remove the hurt, or for other people it might be the molestation. It might be the rape. It might be toxic relationships. It might be rejection. If it might be abandonment. It might be not being accepted. It might be low self-esteem. Whatever it is, it's a layer. And on the inside is the core of the onion, and that's the real you. And sometimes we are so superficial. I was telling my cousin, I said, the women, and I know there's men on here, so no disrespect, but the women, sometimes we go and get a booty, and we go get breast augmentations, and we do all the superficial stuff, but you can't not do cosmetic surgery on something that's internal,
Mm, that's true.
right? You can't, a
that's
surgeon
deep.
can't cut
Whew,
on that. You
that
can't,
is deep.
because there's something down on the inside of me that needs to be fixed. I don't care. You can make my cheeks bigger, make my butt bigger, make my breasts bigger, and whatever you want to do. But if I still got issues on the inside, which is in my tissues, you still haven't scratched the surface of my problem. I still have not addressed the root of it. There's an
Mhm.
origin of it. And Jesus came to address the origin of this woman. To do what? To empower her. She didn't know how great she was. And sometimes we allow people to layer us up with their opinions where it really doesn't matter. It's how you look at yourself. I'm here in Arizona, and I'm not working in my field, but I'm a English teacher. And uh, and I asked a student to write a paper on this one question. I said, "Have you met yourself?"
Mm,
And then so the ladies that I mentor, I ask them, "Have you met yourself?" I don't want to know how many degrees you have. Not who you married to, not what type of house you live in, not the type of car you drive, not the clothes or the Gucci bags and the Tiffany jewelry. Have you met yourself?
yeah.
Where did you lose yourself? Who did you lose yourself in? What did you lose your? It's difficult for people to answer that just like that.
Hmm.
Have you met yourself?
Yeah.
We take away all the superficial stuff. Do you know the reason why you living? Why do you have a pulse?
That's deep. That is deep.
Why do you have a pulse? You forgot how great you was because you allowed people to tell you that you wasn't great. You forgot how awesome you was because you allowed somebody to tell you how awesome you are not. You allow a man to define you and thinking that you can't make it without a man. And the young lady, she looks like a young lady to me. The young man's mother, She listen. She exemplifies strength.
Mm, yeah.
She exemplifies purpose.
Well, she gives me a look.
You
I
understand
can't.
what I'm saying?
I cower.
I'm gonna tell you something. When we cry, and not that when a man cry it doesn't matter, but when we cry, it's a sentence that is said that we never said. It's a
Right.
sentence that is spoken. It has subjects and it has verbs and it has adverbs. But even before it drops down, we already saying, I'm not weak because I'm crying. I'm just human.
Right.
It's
Right.
not a sign, and I'm sure that she can attest to what I'm saying. It wasn't a sign that she was giving up. It was just a sign that it's difficult. But I haven't forgot who I was. But in order for you to understand who you are, you got to take the layers off.
That's
And you
true.
got to have a by yourself meeting and take retrospect of everything that went over in your life and say, how did I get here?
You know what?
What brought me here?
You know what, cousin? I like the part where you said you have to have a by yourself meeting.
By yourself.
That is key. That is key.
By yourself. When you
Yes.
by yourself, take the lashes off, take the booty off, because we
They
come
can't
in
take the
raw.
booty off no more. It's that.
Take the
I mean,
hair off.
I
Cause
mean, we're
you
being
know
transparent. We got to be transparent.
me.
If you can't be real with yourself, baby, you're gonna be fake with everybody else.
I
Right.
took my
That's
hair
true.
off.
That's true.
When I preach, I'm like, it's straight no chaser, because we don't have time for fluffy messages when people are sitting in congregations. In this instance, with women who got everything going for them, the degree, the car, and all that, and they're dying slowly because they're scared to allow people. They don't even want to take the layers off and say, you know what, I'm really dealing with low self-esteem, but I
Mhm.
overcompensated with this. And I really feel like I need a man, even if I haven't even taught him how to treat me, how to talk to me, how to handle me. You're not going to get comfortable dogging me. I'd rather be by myself, even if I'm a single mother,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
you are not a necessity. You are a liability. You are not an asset. And sometimes it's better by yourself so you can find yourself.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
last point I want to make, in the book of
Okay.
Luke, where the prodigal son, where he left the house, you guys can read it in your literature. He left the house, and the Bible says he spent his money in righteous living. And then when he went into the hog pen, and he was working as a chiller for the hog pen, or working for the hog pen, and the Bible says that he said, I came to myself. Sometimes situations and circumstances will allow you to peel off all the layers so you can confront you. You at one point in your life, you have to confront you, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to be real with yourself. I tell people, listen, you don't want to die and no one ever knew that you live, because you because you live by the opinions and the ideas of others.
Yes.
And it mattered to you so much that you have to live a lie and be superficial. I say this: if I lose everything and everybody and I have God, I can start all over. But this is my truth. But I found who I was. I allow Him to remove the layers.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm just existing, eventually I'm gonna die, because I'm really just killing myself softly.
Right.
And I forgot about the purpose for my pulse.
Right. You know
There's
what?
a purpose. Go
Yeah,
ahead, cousin.
there is. You know what? I'm gonna have you back so you just come on here and just speak some life, speak some real life. Miss Eileen, I seen that you were agreeing and shaking your head. Can you give us a little bit of reasoning behind those head shakes? Because I know you have a story behind those shakes.
Well, first off, as your cousin stated, you do have to peel the layers and you do have to find who you are. Unfortunately, there's a lot of young women who are impressionable by what people say and what they are doing and what they want to get done. And I'm like, you're all thinking about the wrong thing. You really need to look inside of yourself, just like your cousin said, and figure out who you are. What type
That's
of person do you want to be? Do you need somebody to define you? You don't need anyone. You just need yourself.
mm-hmm.
And my son might not agree, but I believe that I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for God.
Amen.
because I don't know how many times I got on my knees and I cried and I said, please help me because I don't know how I'm going to do this. It is hard. And every time that I fell down, I was picked up by God to help me keep going forward and keep striving for them. It wasn't for me. It was for them, to give them everything that I didn't have as a child. Because that's what we always want, something better for our children than what we had.
That is so true. That is so true. And
So
so,
that's why I was shaking my head in agreement with her.
yes.
Can I
So,
say one more thing, cousin?
go ahead. Go ahead.
This is noteworthy. For me, I learned that changing, to have the ability to change, is a privilege.
Mm, yes, it is actually.
It's a privilege to change the way you look at yourself instead of staying stuck. It's a privilege, meaning that there's an opportunity. So let me put it like this: a dead man or woman can't change.
That's right. While you
While
have
you're
life,
alive and breathing,
take a hold of that
change.
opportunity.
You got to take the opportunity to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so
That's
even
true.
change the way you look at yourself and say, I am worth it. I am enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where nobody else's opinion matters. Sometimes you got to speak to yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I've already made it. My
Right.
change is on the way.
Right.
This is temporary. I'm in the middle of my promise.
Right.
And
And
I agree with his mother. It wasn't nobody but God. Some people say, oh, Providence, you religious. I said, not by the stretch of the imagination. You can't have a relationship with religion. You
no,
can't. I don't have a relationship with religion.
gotta have a
It's a
relationship with
relationship
God.
with
That's right. That's right.
God.
I agree.
I'm here.
I agree.
That's
And
understandable. Me being atheist, that's understandable. I have no belief system in anything, but I can totally agree with that statement. And I was raised Catholic, but over time, my opinions changed. But I don't disrespect those who have that in
I
their
told you we're gonna
system.
be working on you, B.
Do
Nope.
do do
You
do
be,
no.
Try all you might.
But
I told you we're gonna work on you, man. We working
I
on
would
you.
like to have a conversation with you.
Oh
Not
yeah,
on here, but I'd
that's
like to have
fine.
a conversation with you.
That's cool.
I'm gonna give him your information so you guys can
Yeah.
Please,
chat.
please do.
Yes.
So we gonna go with the questions now, or how you
Yeah.
want to do? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the questions. So one of my questions is, how do you rediscover yourself? Where does it begin? Because I think some people don't even understand that they're so lost in the world that they lost themselves too. When you start to blend in with other people, how do you distinguish who you want to be? Because the thing is, with today's society, everyone follows the trends. So when are you going to set yourself apart from moving with the trends and actually discover you? Where does that begin? Dennis, I want to hear your views. How do you think you rediscover yourself?
This is kind of like uh, something I dealt with in the past, and I'm currently dealing with now. What was that? Oh, I thought you was talking to me. But um, for me, it was inheriting a lump sum of money, and it changed me, changed the person I was. Prior to getting the money, I worked for everything. I didn't want take a dollar from anybody. I refused. But then I just literally walked into a lump sum of money, life changing money that I didn't earn. And it changed me to the point that I still help people and I was still caring. I wanted to do for my city. I wanted to make moves that ultimately benefit other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I lost all that money, I had to kind of change. I kind of got lost. I couldn't really figure out who I was. And, the past couple years, 2, 3 years, um, started to rediscover myself in regards to realizing that all that matters is family, relationships, with family and friends. Money ain't everything. And that was my mentality forever. And really, I'm still trying to really find myself. I'm like kind of lost in the shuffle
Mm.
because I know what I want to be and I know where I want to go with my life, but I'm kind of stuck in that zone where I'm I'm trying to get the energy to really push myself to get where I want to be. I'm like kind of stagnant, kind of sitting in the same spot, and that's how it's been for me the past year. But rediscovering myself, I mean, I know eventually I will, but I will say, I mean, just that past experience I had to now, I mean, that was uh, me
So
realizing
what
who.
would push you though, Dennis? What would push you for you to actually look deep and not keep putting it off? Because if you keep saying eventually I'm going to do it, aren't you still going to continue to be lost in the shuffle if you don't take the time to do it now?
Call me and he called me crazy, but I was raised. My I had a stepdad until I was 16. He passed away. When he passed away, my life got chaotic. Like all the bad things that you can do as a 16-year-old, I started doing. So I was all about, like, my mom, love her to death. My grandmother, I'm all about having a relationship, being in a relationship. That's my
Mhm,
life. I've always been in a relationship. But
mhm,
up until 12 years ago, with my ex, who I have my son with, um, I haven't been in a relationship. And I will say one thing: no matter how much, I guess people think that I hate women, not true. I need a woman. Like in my life, I will say I need a woman. That's kind of that's kind of that's kind of not necessarily hate women. I'm talking about from social
You
media.
have
People think that I have a
you might be traumatized from some of the things that some
yeah,
women put you through, and
yeah. But put
in life we all have
yeah.
traumatization from certain things, and I think that's where you should really kind of start, figuring out more about
I
yourself.
think
What allowed that?
no. I think I'll tell you this, okay? Because I'm built to be with a woman, and me not having a relationship with a woman,
Mhm,
I think that's causing me to really just be stagnant. I got my son. I have motivation, but it's just the fact when I'm in a relationship with a woman, a strong woman, she pushes me. And in the past, I've had like 3 4 month relationships that the women pushed me, but ultimately didn't work out because I chose the wrong one. But ultimately, I think that's where my life is at right now, waiting
okay.
for the right relationship, um, to push myself where I want to be. I know it's bad to rely on somebody to get where you want to be, but sometimes, I mean, some people are built like that, and that's just the way I'm built.
Okay. Cousin, I see you is the wheels are going. I see it. I see it. I'm gonna let Jazz go, and I know you probably have something you want to say to that. Jazz go, and then Brandon, Miss Eileen, I'm gonna have a question for you after her. Jazz, go ahead and give your point of view on this.
Rediscovering. Well, I mean, like how Dennis said, it's still a work in progress for myself as well. I mean, with me, I would say once me and like my husband got together is when I was like, I could start to rediscover myself. I mean, prior, I mean, I told y'all, about my last relationship when I was in Ohio, but it's like I let myself fall so far into it. It was like I was so in love with a man that didn't even care anything about me, and I lost myself in that. And it's like being in that, like it was so easy to get lost in it, but it'd been like so hard, to get out of it. So, I mean, it's took years. Like I'm still, it's still an everyday thing because it's now like rediscovering myself as like a wife and a mom and a working woman, so yeah.
Okay. And so, Miss Eileen, so you said you went back to school and you got your degrees. So I know there had to be an aha moment for you where you decided that this was something that you needed to do. Can you explain to us in what point in your life that you decided that you needed to rebuild yourself and maybe revamp the things that you were doing?
When you have a high school diploma and all you could get is fast food jobs
Hmm.
such as Burger King, Arby's, McDonald's, and you see your kids that they want things and you can't give it to them, that's what made me decide I had to go and get a higher education, because if not, I was not going to give them or be able to give them the better things in life. And unfortunately, all of our kids are like that.
Mm,
If somebody has something better, they want it. If somebody has the PlayStation 5, they want it. You know, it's not, how can I explain it? It's not something that I was raised with.
mm-hmm.
I was raised that, whatever you got, and call it a day.
And be thankful.
But yeah, but my kids were not raised like that. Unfortunately, the era that they grew up in,
Mm-hmm.
everybody had the new Nikes, or everybody had the Air Jordans, or whatever it was that was in fashion or in style.
Mm-hmm.
And they felt bad. And I understand that, because little kids can be cruel. They
Yeah.
diss other little kids.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to put your children through that humiliation. You don't want them to grow up feeling less than. Like
Mm-hmm.
your cousin said, less than, no, never. You want them to be empowered in some way. And
Right.
if that was the way that it empowered them, by, I guess, praising them for their worth, then
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. I told Brandon last night, I don't know if I did right or if I did wrong, but I know I did the best that I could, because kids don't come with a manual.
Nope.
I wish they did a how-to manual. Okay, this is what you do when they're one. This is what you do when they're two. No, you learn by trial and error.
Yes. Yes.
And
And
just
that is
one quick.
literally me every day right now.
Right.
Because
That's the way it is, trial and error. And just one question or one response to D. Is that his name?
Yep.
Yes.
Real
Yeah.
quick. You don't need a woman to define you, young man. You got that son. That son is the one that's got to define you, because you got to teach him to be a man and grow up a strong black man and be proud of who he is.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
Can
all
I
I
can I
got.
can I respond real
That's
quick?
coming from a woman, dude.
Can
That's
I?
coming
Go
from a
ahead,
woman.
respond, Brandon. If you have anything to say, you can
Real,
say, and then prophetess, if there's anything you want to
okay.
add, feel
So
free.
so I want to say I was raised for the most part in a two parent household. So that's all I know. So what I mean is, and I'm not necessarily saying I need a woman, but at the same time, it's kind of like when I was at my best, and when I'm at my best, I have somebody by my side. And I know my son, he's my motivation. I mean, I'm right now grinding out 60, 70 hours a week. He's my motivation just to be in this city, just to be here. I gave up everything to be here for my son. But in regards to my
As you
happiness,
should.
I'm a miserable person. Like I'm on sometimes on Facebook, I
You
come
gotta
off
stop
miserable.
claiming that. You gotta stop
And I
claiming
just I
that.
just I'm now
I
being
keep
let's be
telling you, when
real.
you speak life into certain situations, then that is what's going to manifest. What we doing right now, and what we want to do is manifest our destinies. We want to manifest the things that are within us. That's why I said rediscovering ourselves. If you dig deep and you find out who Dennis really is, what Dennis love, and the creative side of Dennis, because I tell you all the time, like off camera, I tell him, I said, you know what, D, you are so creative. I said, you just need to keep on this journey and just don't give up. And you got to have faith, because if you keep at it, you're going to bring out that light in you, and eventually the world is going to see it. But you can't shine a light that you don't believe in yourself. You
True.
understand? Go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but let's let Brandon go ahead and
That's
get his
pretty much it.
response.
Yeah.
All right. So the key word that you said, Dennis, the need. All right. One thing you need to do is you need to breathe air. You need to drink water. You
Mhm.
need to eat. Okay. You need to wear clothing to protect yourself from the outside elements. All right. You want someone in your life to share your life with. You want, okay, to feel not lonely. You're confusing two important words: wants and needs. All right, mom's
I
gonna
understand that.
tell me this when I was growing up. I'm gonna tell you what my mom used to tell me: want in one hand and shit in the other. See which one fills up first.
Mhm.
Okay, so women in your life are wants. All right, the reason why you're saying you're picking everything, I think it's because not just it's just you haven't really found yourself. Keyword to this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you really want out of like the relationships in your life? So you felt that you were more determined and focused when you had someone around. That's not really the case. It's just the stress of being all on you. You got to put it on someone else to push you. You just take that, whatever that is that you find in that person to push you, just push yourself. But best relationships happen when you're not even looking.
That's true. But to counter what you were saying too, though, B, I think it can be both. It can be a need and a want, because when you think about it, I think we were saying this earlier. I don't think he was on yet when he said something about, I forgot what he said, but anyways, I made the point of God created Eve from Adam's rib because God knew that he needed companionship. So he might need companionship too, but he might need to focus first on finding him, and then God will send him what he needs next. Prophetess, if there's anything you want to add, and guys, feel free. If there's something that someone's saying and you guys want to kind of interject, it's okay for you guys to say, well, can I add to this or something like that?
Yeah. So when he was saying he was miserable, I believe that life and death isn't a power of the tongue. However, he was speaking his truth. But my question is, you have to ask your question: why am I miserable, and what brought you there?
Mm.
Because I could say I'm so depressed, and that could be my truth for that moment. But I need to know, why am I depressed, so that I can address it instead of suppress it. If that makes sense.
No, it does, absolutely.
And then another thing is that, as far as relationships, when a man don't have anything, I wrote this down. When a man don't have anything to offer a woman, he is at a greater disadvantage in securing a woman. And if she's a real woman and she's not superficial, she's not concerned about money, meaning what you can give her. If you're not solid up here, you understand? If you don't understand her worth or her value, if all you bring to this is money on the table, there's not enough. We as women, can you be there for me emotionally? Do you know how to handle me? When I'm down, are you a builder? What is your temperament when you're dealing with women? Do you over talk? Do you talk at them and not to them? And oftentimes these are the game changers for women. It's like, I don't care what you got. You're not using wisdom. And sometimes we cannot have a great relationship with people. It's like this. Since you don't know who you are, I'm gonna use me an example. If I meet you and you want to, start talking to me, if you don't know who you are, then who are you introducing me to?
Wow, that's deep.
That's a good point.
That's deep.
Right? I'm thinking I'm meeting Brandon, but Brandon don't even know who he is. So
Dennis. That's Dennis.
Dennis, I'm sorry. Dennis don't even know who he is. So who are you introducing me to? Who am I hanging out with? Who am I going to the movies with? I'm like, I'm sitting here with a total stranger because he don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
Then this monster comes out.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, it's difficult it's difficult. I was telling my student, I said, it takes a whole lot of effort to be phony.
That's true.
It do. And it's difficult to keep that up.
Keeping up with the Joneses. Yep.
That's right. It's difficult to keep it up. So, it's better to be honest and sit there. I believe this. You can take my advice or not. You need a by yourself moment.
I love that.
And I tell my mentees, I said, you take a piece of paper, a blank sheet of paper, and you fold it down the middle. And on one side, you write down all the great things about you. Fill it up if you want to. But on the other side, write down the stuff that's not so great. But you got to be by yourself. But you got to be truthful and be by yourself. You get, oh, my great guy. It's like, no, but what about the other side? What about those issues in your tissues, those things that you suppressed, that you don't want to talk about? What about your temperament? What about how disrespectful you are when you get mad and you don't know how to control your mouth? I'm not just saying that this is you. I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
We want to always write down the fluffy stuff about us. But here's a question. I want you to write it down. Would you marry you?
Depends.
No. Would you marry you in this hour, in this moment, where you are right now? Because if you would marry you, then a divorce would happen soon.
No,
Wow.
honestly, if I met somebody, I think she would want to marry me. I would marry myself.
No. I'm not talking about her.
Would you marry Dennis?
Marry
Would you
yourself.
marry
Dennis married Dennis.
And your
I
current
would marry
spouse, would
Dennis.
you marry you?
Yeah,
Somebody,
I mean,
you is just like you.
You gotta be honest.
You said you are miserable. So then you would be marrying somebody who's miserable. Are you following me now?
yeah.
You're not ready for marriage, and you're not ready for a relationship until you're ready to face yourself.
I think I think one issue that I have. Okay, I'll be just being honest here. The problem I have is getting put in that friend zone, being a nice guy, because I treat women like I'm talking about open the car door, first date. I go above and beyond. Okay, that's just how I was raised. So the problem I face is with women, they don't really like that nice of a guy nowadays. It's kind of tough to meet somebody that I'm just saying, I'm talking about my experience, not everybody. But I get abused because then I'll go out with these women and they're immediately friend zone if you treat them too nice, you treat them too good. And then if I go and I don't want to be a toxic guy, act like a toxic guy to meet somebody. And that's the reason why I've been single for so long, because whenever I meet somebody, it just gets old because I'm old fashioned. I'm all about, we're dating each other only, nobody else. Move on in. And I think it scares a lot of women. And that's what I've been facing.
What is it about you that is attracting these ratchet women? There's no other way.
That is what it is. It is.
What is it about you that attracts these type of women? That's why you need to buy yourself a moment, because it's a symptom of a deeper problem that you haven't addressed.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, because I'm gonna tell you, all those things is wonderful, but then there's something else. You ever met somebody and said this, and you said they tell you this and they tell you that, but you say it's something else. It's something.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I can't put my finger. And not saying that you are a bad guy. I'm just saying that since you said that you were miserable, that misery gonna come out after a while in their relationship, and they're not concerned about you opening no door. That don't matter.
No,
they can open their own door. It's something, because it's gonna leak out.
Mm-hmm.
I said this I think a month ago on this podcast. I said that the problem you face, because I date all women, but the women that I want to marry Black, and the problem I face is most Black, because my income level right now, like when I had my money, of course I had more options, because women want comfort, they want security. Here's the thing: now that I don't have that, I'm a middle class guy. Options are not as. But
the options are there, Dennis.
Okay, so let me just say this: Black women tend to, I'm talking about, Black women who got their stuff together, who are making good money. They don't date down normally; they usually date up. So the problem you face is, because of my income bracket, I'm gonna have more ratchets and more women that's making minimum wage.
I beg to differ, because when you get a real woman. I'm talking about a real woman. Y'all gonna grow together. Y'all gonna build together, because when you come together, y'all, the whole mission and the whole aim is for us to enhance each other.
I'm saying she has her money. I'm talking about she has her stuff together. She's making good money. She does not date down. Black women don't date down.
What you're not hearing, what she is saying is basically, if you get a woman and say she's on a higher level than you, and you have your income that you have, if she is a woman, a real natural woman, then when y'all get together, y'all gonna become one. So there is no more worry about your income. The women who worry about your income are the women who are miserable with themselves.
Gold diggers.
Yes.
Good
They
point.
gonna they gonna suck you dry while you open the door for
Mhm. I mean, it's
them.
true though.
It's real, and
Yeah, I don't.
they exploit you because
Yeah,
they see your weakness.
Exactly. There's sharks in the water.
They will exploit you. That's why it's not good for you to date right now, because you got to find out who you are,
yeah,
and you got to become whole. You got to be a whole man, because you're a half it. And no disrespect, and
no,
that goes for
I take
women
it.
too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we attract what we are,
Mm.
and you got to be a whole man to attract a whole woman who's not. That's superficial. It's not like you a bum. You're a
Right.
hardworking man.
Right.
And you know, you probably love hard, and you want the best things in life, and you don't want to take walks in the park, but you not at the expense of your happiness.
Right.
And if you're miserable, then who wants to date somebody who's really miserable, but they're acting like they're not miserable? I want you to get the misery out of you. That's why you need that by yourself meeting. It's like, what is it? What is it? What is it about me? Well, what is it? I need to heal. You know, because whatever you've been doing, you've been putting a Band-Aid on it. And it's seeping out.
I can agree. I can agree with that.
I know, because I'm speaking prophetically. It's seeping out. And all you're going to do is leak out on everybody you meet. And it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Poison is toxic.
That's true.
On
Yep.
every level. Poison is toxic.
Yep.
And hurt people down the road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Down the road. And your anger comes out because you've been genuine.
Yeah.
You've been sincere. But you attracted somebody who was ratchet.
Yeah.
Who could care less. It's like you attracted Delilahs in the Bible.
That's true. That's true.
That is it.
So
Let me go ahead.
I'm
Let me
sorry.
no, you're fine.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You're fine.
So
I'm
I
done.
don't want Dennis to feel like it's pick on Dennis hour at all.
It's
No,
not.
it's not. It's not. We're
I just want
good.
to
You're
know
giving.
that-
I'm getting some.
I don't want that.
I like some constructive criticism. So
I'm straight no chaser.
yeah,
And I like it for me. But here's my thing. If with my mentees, if I accept you the way you are, I help make you worse.
Mm-hmm.
But if I challenge you to become who I know you're capable of becoming, I help you do that. It's not picking on you, it's building you.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't mean it like that.
You know, thought
Yeah.
provoking.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
believe
was.
that you are. I believe there's greatness on the inside of you. You can be a great father, a great husband, but you know some things that got to be tweaked. So, you know, sometimes we get so busy in the hustle and bustle of life that we forget to sit down and ask the question. It's like, why am I so miserable?
Right.
You know
Right.
what brought me here? Because I don't want to stay here, and really deal with it. And
no, you're right about that.
we just got to really deal with it. And then I promise you this, once you deal with it and once you heal and once you stop, you're not gonna attract those ratchet women.
That's
You're
true.
gonna attract somebody who's strong and who gonna love you for you.
I think B told him this last week. B told you something
Well,
similar. Mm-hmm.
The thing I wanted to mention to just not again, I don't want you to feel like it's pick on you hour.
No,
I
you
really
good.
don't.
Yeah,
Dennis.
you're
I just
fine.
want
I
you.
mean,
I
hate that it
It's
turns
love
into.
here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear a lot of things that you're saying, and the things that you're saying is when you say you go above and beyond on the first date and everything, you play your whole entire hand on that first date, dude. You reveal your entire deck of cards. So what I want you to do is, if you're going to go on a date, do a realistic expectation of that date. What is it that you want to get out of this date? Are you just doing that to just get in their pants, or are you trying to get to know this person? What's your objective of this date? Do that before you go on that date. Figure out what is it that you want. All right, that's going to be the first thing. Just try that first, and then the realistic expectation. Do that. Don't throw your own whole entire. Don't do 52 card freaking pickup on them. Don't throw everything. Give them the first date is get to know me.
Yeah.
Talk about the common interests, like find out what they like and find out what you like. Find out what your common interests are.
Yeah.
Don't look at the physical stuff. All right. So that means you expand your type of person to anybody who's willing to go on a date with you. Because all you're doing now is you're just swimming in the water and trying to see what you can catch on the net. Don't narrow it down because we already know your type. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So let's go and expand that net. Let's catch something a little bit wider. Let's
Different.
find out. Just pick anybody who's willing to go on a date with you, just anyone, and do
Yeah.
that. Do those two things. What is it that I want out of this date? All right, and don't show my cards the entire day. Don't go above and beyond. Realistic expectations, meaning if you can only do a $50 date, then you make it $50, bro.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
can only take them to Wendy's, then you tell them all I can do is like, let's do lunch and we'll get a coffee at a cafe. And all you do is sit and talk. All right.
Wow. So
Just do that.
it's so crazy because some of the stuff that we were talking about, I have a fan mail that pertains to some of this, like
Oh,
right
wow.
here.
Ooh.
Yes. Yes. So
And
if
by
you
the
want,
way, I never had a problem. I never had a problem 10 years ago. It's just I've been out the game for so long because I was like you said, I was more like I said, miserable for years. I'm finally happy because I have my son. But ultimately, when it comes to dating, I haven't been really on a real date in like almost 10 years. So
Don't worry.
That's okay. I was
I've been
out the
out the
game
game.
for
I
like
gotta
right,
about
start
3
right.
over.
years before
So,
me and Eric got together, and it's
I gotta,
like, I mean,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
walk
I
you
gotta get
through
some
the
But
dad
steps.
jokes.
I'll give you some realistic
Dennis, when we
Yeah.
get off of
advice.
here, I want you to remember what she said, a by yourself meeting, a by
Yeah. Oh,
yourself meeting.
absolutely.
And when you have that by yourself meeting, that is you alone in a room, maybe looking in a mirror. I want you to go into a room, look yourself in the mirror, and you look at yourself and you ask yourself these questions. Who am I? What am I looking for? You're really gonna have to have, like she said, a by yourself meeting because only you know you. And sometimes while you're staring in that mirror, you're gonna have to face the hard truth. And sometimes we don't like to face the hard truths about ourselves. So we use covers. And you're gonna have to pull that cover off of you if you make progress in your life. So, let's not keep using that blanket and that cover to shield us from our our truth. Okay. So I
Got you.
just
Got
wanted
you.
to give you that. And guys, I kind of want to I want to move it along a little bit because I do want to get down to fan mail.
Right.
And I wanted to say, Miss Eileen, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, not really. Just to um, piggyback from your cousin in reference to the poison. It's a good saying, misery loves company.
Mm,
And if you're miserable, that's what you're showing other people. And that's what they're going to feed off of, your misery.
mm.
So hence the reason that you're only attracting ratchet women, like you say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That, yeah.
These are very wise women that we have on this show, and the reason why their input is so important and valuable is because we have two ladies who lived life. You understand what I'm saying? They've been through some things. They traveled down some roads and they had some hard times. And through any of the storms that they went through, there was lessons that they learned out of it. And I know for a fact Miss Eileen passed that down to Brandon. And I know Prophetess has passed that down to her children and her family and the people that she come across. So guys, this advice right here, this is that nectar. That's that good nectar. So
Mhm.
take a hold of this advice. And if it applies to you, then take what you need to take away from this and start to discover who you are. Go ahead and start peeling back those layers, like Prophet has said, because we all have to peel back the superficial part of us, and we all have to figure out who we are, not the who we are for this person or that
Right.
person or for the world. Let's discover who we are and be who we
For
want to be are for
ourselves.
us.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I kind of want to move it along because
Real quick, Laura, can I say one more thing to Dennis?
yes,
And
ma'am. Go ahead.
Brandon knows this. Okay, I met my current husband back in 1993 in Philadelphia. I left Philadelphia, went to Ohio, lived in Youngstown for 6 years, came back to Philadelphia. He and I found each other, and in 2005 we got married. That's the story that prophetess was saying. If there's someone out there for you, they're gonna come to you.
Yep.
If not, then it's not meant to be. Do you understand, Dennis?
Yeah, I understand that.
So don't put all your eggs in a basket. Like prophetess says, you have to heal yourself, find out who you are, and then when you are able to radiate that
Mm.
self-confidence, that power of a strong man, you will get the right woman to come to you. Matter of fact, God will put her in your path.
The woman that God designed for you, because He is the
Exactly.
creator and He is a designer, and He has crafted someone for everyone. You got to believe that, because I definitely have put faith in that, because I remember going to Phillips Chapel back in the day when I was young, and the pastor said, pray your prayer to God, because
Yep.
He will honor His promise. And I said, God, this is the type of man I want. I described him to a T. And let me tell you, He sent my husband. And now we have had our journeys and we have been through some things. But, ultimately, I don't think there's anyone else who knows me as good as him, and who was able to deal with my craziness sometimes. And through it all, we're able to lift each other up. You need someone that can help add value to you, and you help
Mhm.
add value to them. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. But goodness, that was a great segment.
Mhm.
Y'all had me over here. Whew, I'm about to be in tears. Um, I am I am so thankful for you two ladies, because you ladies have brought nothing but positive vibes and knowledge. And you guys, someone's going to be healed by this. And I really truly believe that someone's out there and they probably didn't even know they were lost, and they were in the shuffle, as Dennis said. And hopefully this is going to help get them on the right path. But I want to go ahead and move things along and get to fan mail, because it is a Saturday and I know everyone probably has things they want to do on this beautiful day.
No, all I want to do is sleep. I worked this morning, so
Well,
Aw.
yeah, I know you and little
hush,
sister can
Brandon.
do you up.
Besides
Oh,
that, yeah, you're right. You're right.
oh, I say the best letter for last. So we have fan mail. This fan mail does not have a name, but it reads, Dear Alora, I am in love with two people. The first person I am in love with is my husband. I have loved him since I can remember. We have been through it all together. I mean, that man is fine. He is totally fine, and he's on mine. But the problem is, as of late, my husband has not been too nice to me or loving. I found myself slipping away from him emotionally. So I've done it all. And I told him that I was feeling really sad and stressed out, and I emotionally couldn't handle it anymore. And so I wanted to step away from the marriage. Now, I did let him know that I was going to begin dating. So I started dating a man who swept me off my feet. I am 35 and he is 30. I'm sorry, he is 47. And this man has given me such a sense of belonging and adventure. And the problem is, I am still in love with my husband, and I know he feels the same for me. But my main issue is, I kind of feel that the adventure out of my marriage has gone. We've both become too comfortable with each other. And this feeling that I had with this older gentleman has made me feel the need for the feeling of belonging, and to want to be touched and emotional longing. What should I do though? Because I'm confused. I'm not sure if I am in love with this man, or I'm in love with the feeling that he gives me. Please help, because I love my husband so dearly and I don't want to be away from him. But if I can't get the feeling of love, or the feeling of love, or that he needs me, I don't think that I should stay. What should I do? Okay, guys, let's give this lady some advice. Who wants to chime in?
Me.
Okay, go ahead, Jazz.
So I don't think she loves her husband that much as she says, because if you love your husband as much as you say that you would, you wouldn't have thought about dating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Mhm.
like even with my marriage, like me and my husband, we argue. I mean, it happens, it's just part of the relationship. But despite the fact of how we argue or whatever case may be, I never think like I could be mad at him and I'm like, oh, I just want to step out and start dating, because that means to me, that means that the relationship is dead. So yeah, I don't think she loves the husband as much as she says that she does. And she's not really, I don't think, in love with the other man. Like she said, it's just the feeling that he gives her because he's giving her something that her husband wasn't. That's just my opinion. So
All
Okay.
right. I'll go.
Hmm.
So from hearing it, my last marriage kind of like went that way. Uh, so unfortunately, got to the end, and we had to step away. But she had asked for the divorce prior, but I was trying my best to try and repair everything. Well, it got to a point where she didn't feel like the relationship was going to go in a direction that benefited her, really.
Mm,
And I was mostly trying to do the stages of death. So I was in denial at first.
mm,
Then I was what do you say? The next one is like anger, and then pleading, and then acceptance, right?
mm. Something like that.
So I was in those stages. I got to the acceptance part like right after our 9-year anniversary. That's when I was like, you know what? It's done. I'm done. I'm not going to try anymore. I'm done. So I walked away. For her saying that she is still in love with her husband, that key word there, the in love still, is important.
Hmm.
She's really not in love with that guy, that the 47-year-old. She's in love with the idea of her relationship with her husband to be just like that with this guy.
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
the idea of that relationship that she loves. She loves that what she's craving,
Hmm.
what she wants from him. The only way to fix that is counseling, couples counseling. If you can't do that, for him to be able to hear what she wants and her needs without him feeling like he needs to be on the defensive,
Hmm.
because maybe he's showing her that, but she doesn't understand his love language, and he's not understanding her love language. So there could be that break in communication. But that's what my advice is: couples counseling, try to understand each other's love languages, and move on from there. That's
Okay.
mine.
Anyone else? Any advice?
I believe I agree with
Brandon.
Mr. Brandon. Um, I believe that So if I say, "Can you go get me something to drink from the store?" and you bring me back soda, I don't drink soda, but that's not your fault that you brought me back a soda because I didn't effectively communicate. And sometimes what we call communication is not communication at all
Hmm.
because it's not effectively communicating. Instead of stepping out, um, uh, if you would, and also agree with the young lady, but instead of stepping out, just have I believe that you should sit down and talk about it. And sometimes when we are angry, with anger or bitterness is harbored, we don't know how to talk to our spouse, and we usually talk at them, and then that pushes them away. So the communication is not the environment is hostile. Everything is hostile about us. And so
Hmm.
there's tension. So I don't want to deal with you and your attitude, and I don't want to have a conversation with you, which makes her go out. And I agree with Brandon said, in love with the relationship that she thinks that she's having with the other guy. But the what is the culprit in it is we don't communicate right. This is not effective communication. You could say what you need to say without being disrespectful to your spouse,
Hmm.
but still telling them, listen, lately, whatever, and I'm going through this, and I'm feeling like this. But here's my question: what part did she play? Because she's talking about what her husband has done, but what is her percentage? Will
Hmm.
she play in it? Because if most people who have invested so much is not so willing to walk away without fighting.
Right.
And so if I invested so much in my marriage, it's difficult for me to just get up and be like, I'm out of here.
Right.
I'm like, I've been with this man for years and years and years, so it's difficult to just walk away without taking other steps. It's like, well, what are we going to do? This is how I feel. This is how you make me feel. Not that I want to be with another man. I want us to work.
Right.
Let's see what it's going to take for us to work. But when you
Right.
come to a point of no return, as Brendan said, then you know when it's over. But to go in the arms of another man is not the answer.
Mm.
It's not the answer. If you push me in his arms, you don't want to do nothing with me. You don't want to be intimate with me. You don't want to talk with me. Then, let's go get counseling. You don't want to do counseling. You don't want to sit down and talk. Go get you some lingerie. Set the atmosphere. Try to do something to light the fire that went out. Do all that you can do. When you done your part and he don't want nothing, your hands is clean because you tried. You tried.
With that.
But instead of just trying to say, "Oh, I'm just going to go be with this man," because we as women, let's be honest, we like for men to tell us stuff. "Oh, you look good today," or your
Right.
husband say that, "Oh, baby, you smell so good. You look amazing. I just love the way you smile." And in your mind, it's like, "My husband don't tell me that. My husband don't pay attention." It's like, when was she didn't say anything about what have she done, to help that man out to
Yeah.
understand what she's going through. What part does she play in trying to save the marriage? And then the man is 47 years old. You would think that if he cheat with you, he gonna cheat on you,
Mm.
right?
That is
If you
true.
don't respect my marriage, then if you and me get married, you're not gonna respect our
Respect
marriage.
it.
Come
Yep.
on, man. Let's be clear. I'm not gonna play the fool,
That is
right?
nice. Yes.
She haven't processed that. So the same thing you're doing with me and you don't work out, then you're gonna do it with another woman,
Right.
or
Right.
you so trustworthy. Make it make sense to me.
Woo.
You can't make it make sense to me because it doesn't make sense to you. So what you should have did was like, it's best that you go and work it out with your husband, not me trying to entwine with you, trying to do something with you. Go try to work it out with your husband. I don't want to play a part in your decision.
Right.
So that means you're not going to even put forth an effort to try to work it out with your husband because you already got eyes on me. But what about if you're meeting somebody that he's introducing himself and he's introducing himself to her, but that's not the real him. And she find out that it's like when they say the grass is greener on the other side until it rains and you realize that it was just spray painted.
Oh, that is good.
You
That is.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when it rained real hard, she gonna find out that dude was only spray painted.
He's gonna be put to the test and he's gonna fail.
That's right.
Okay. I get it.
Don't leave something permanent for something temporary.
That's good. That is good. I'm up here taking notes. Okay. Anyone else want to hit on that topic? Any advice for her? Before I give her our final. Okay. So, okay, she doesn't have a name. So, like Prophet has said, try everything. Talk to your husband, seek counseling if you can, and just do your due diligence. It sounds like you love him, but it sounds like you don't understand, like Prophet has said, how to communicate your love to him or to get him to communicate his love for you. Don't give up on your marriage. Leave the other man right where he is because I believe he is a temporary problem to the solution. And just, I really don't have too much advice for this one.
Can I say one
I'll
more
just
thing?
give it all. Go ahead, finish. You can get finished out with her.
It's to me, it's like pain is speaking,
Mm-hmm.
right? And pain will hold a conversation with you like no human being can. Did you hear me? Pain will hold a conversation with you all day, all night, like no human being can. And maybe the pain that she's feeling, if he don't even know that he's inflicting this type of pain on her, then it's not even fair because she's not giving a man an opportunity to make it right. It's like if I did something to offend you and I didn't even know that I offended you, and
Mm-hmm.
then you just like, I don't want nothing to do with you, but I didn't even know that I offended you.
Right. Right.
You understand? So she
Mhm.
allowed the pain to speak for her. So the pain is clouding her vision, even seeing and hearing. She don't want to hear nothing he got to say. All she sees is this man. But then what if the man do the same thing that her husband does?
Right. Right.
Then you're in a tit for tat situation where they're
Right.
just
And that's
telling
not healthy.
each other to
That's
hurt
not
each other, and
right.
that's just going to make things worse.
That's right. That's
Well,
Yeah.
right.
well, writer, you have your answer. I wish you all the best. Um, just keep trying. I have another letter. We're gonna move on to this next one, and then we'll do the trending corner. So this letter reads, "Dear Alora D, my name is Sam. I am a 30-year-old woman from Boulder, Colorado. I have dedicated most of my early years to school, and now that I have finished, I've gained my dream job, employment at my dream job. But the problem is, I've given my all to school and this job that I forgot to look for love along the way. I worked very hard to become where I am, which is an actuary. I didn't want any distractions. I wanted to stay focused on my career. So, the problem that I'm facing right now is most men do not want to date me because of my income status. I'm just looking for a man to love me, to hold me, to kiss me. Money and at this point doesn't really matter. But the men that I have come across, they've all wanted me to give up my career and be a housewife. And I wouldn't have a problem with that if I didn't work so hard and if my mom didn't work so hard to put me through school. I really love my career. I don't want to give it up, but I really want to become a mother and a wife one day. What should I do? Any advice would help. Thanks.
Let me
So,
get Jazz in there. Go ahead, Jazz.
so, whew. I mean, if she's worked so hard for her career, she should never just drop it like that just for love. Like it's never. No, I mean, I'm even in my head thinking of. I mean, even if like say she decided to go that route and the person that she's dating makes as much money as she does or more, I guess that would be okay. But like, what if she's making 100,000 a year and she decides to marry somebody that only makes 40,000 a year? It's going to be. When people make higher incomes, they're used to living a certain way and having certain things, and her going that route. So no, I wouldn't at all.
Oh, I'm gonna go and counter you there, Jazz,
Of
because
course
it's
you
not a
would.
thing. I have to. So here's the thing. It's not really about income status, it's about mindset. And I want to make sure everybody understands it loud and clear that if there's a breadwinner in the relationship and it's either male or female, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Again, what Prophet has said is build each other up. So when we get together, and wherever we are, we're like, you could be here, but when we get together and we're able to push each other's or just like embrace each other to go in an upward direction, we're not staying flat, we're not staying, and we're not dipping down.
Mhm.
There are going to be some valleys, we'll have some ups and downs, right? But trajectory wise, if you look at overall, statisticians, and look at the line, is this graph going up or are we going down? Are we have a negative trend or we have a positive trend? So we want to have a positive trend in our relationships. If she wants to be the breadwinner and she wants to be the sugar mama, that's fine by me. By all means, what you want in a relationship is given. It can be given to you from any income status, just as long as it's that right person with the right mindset that has the same thoughts as you. Is like, you know what? I may not be able to provide you this diamond ring that's 10 carats. I probably can't give you a 8-room home, a house with 8 bedrooms. I can't get you a Bentley, but what I can give you is my time. I can give you my affection, and I can give you a great conversation.
And
And
consistency.
be consistent. Yeah, that's what it should be. It shouldn't even be about your bank statement, Dennis. It should be about what can you bring to the table to uplift and make that conversation or relationship better? And that's how I like. If I get with somebody, I'm all about building them up. I'm not about like having them in a certain place. I'm like, no, you want to do something you love, go and do it. So let's say Dennis, for example, gets with this lady, and Dennis like has this thought of like, oh, I want to open up like a bar or something, and then this individual goes, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. Let's do that together. You know what that means? That means that person really cares about your relationship to the point where they're willing to work with you. And
Right.
that's the kind of people you want in your life. You don't want the person that's going to give you a negative Nancy review, but you also want someone that's going to give you a realistic outlook on what it is that you want to do in life or any type of likes and wants and needs. So let's say one day you want to do bungee jumping. I'm gonna be like, hey man, you want to do that? Let's do this. Let's get some stats though on like how risky it is. I'll get you some realistic things, but if you still want to do the bungee jump, I'll jump with you, man.
Phew. Mm-mm. Use a good one.
But that's the
Never
thing.
would.
Right.
It's like, well, my
Right.
mom's an adrenaline junkie. She'll do anything. But
I won't
well,
even get on a roller coaster, let alone try
like,
and jump
so
off one.
I see it as like, I want to hear her response to this. But prophet, what is it? How do you say prophet?
Prophetess.
Prophetess.
Prophetess. If prophetess can give this person the same like answer, but in a more prophetic way.
Ah.
I would like that because, like, from my perspective is logic. I'm all about analyzing things in logic. So I want to be like, hey, this is what it is. Don't worry about
You
what
want
others
you want to
are
give it
saying.
to her from a spiritual standpoint. You want her to give it to
Yeah,
her from a
yeah,
spiritual
she
standpoint.
probably can do it better than me, but I'm like, hey, look, what you want to do that. That's fine. Don't look to people with higher incomes if that's not work for you. If you want to be with someone of a lower income, that's cool. It shouldn't even be about that from my point of view. It shouldn't because
Mhm.
it's all about the state of mind. Are they mentally healthy? Are they emotionally healthy? Are they emotionally mature? Are they willing to just go and be that side chick
Mhm.
or just be the trophy husband? Perfect
What's
for
wrong?
me. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then I'm gonna let I want Miss Eileen's point of view also. Go ahead, cuz.
I agree with the gentleman. What I was thinking about, the scripture says, a wise woman builded her house. When you first of all, when you date someone, how do they know what you make?
Mm.
If you're not looking to be, if I don't deem you to be marriage material, it doesn't. What I make is none of your business.
That's
And you ask me, well, what I do is like, well, I do a few things here and there, but I make it work. I would go all around the question, because if you're not going to be my husband, then I don't have to go, oh, I do this and I do that and I make this, but it's really none of your business. We're just out, getting to know each other on the surface. You don't have to
acquaintance.
know in depth of, oh yeah, I make six figures. And it's like, no, so why indulge in, that type of conversation with divulging what you make, or what your status is, because we're not comparing. We're just trying to get to know each other. But you don't have to get to know my bank account, or what I really do. You can just like, I graduated from college, and I just, you know I
I
do well for
dabble.
myself. I do well
Wait,
for
I
myself.
dabble.
I'm okay. You don't have to tell them what you actually do. I'm like, that's irrelevant, because if you're not marriage material, then there's no need. But if you get a man, that makes less than you, we work together, we build each other, and then with the mindset you should have. I don't know if you read the Bible, but wisdom is. I believe wisdom should be part of something that we use in any situation. In regards to a wife, the Bible said a wise woman builded her house. She even built her husband. But a foolish woman plucks it down with her own hands. Because if you're looking at a status, so you make this and he make this. When you get upset, when you bring that up, how
Mm.
much you don't contribute and how much you're carrying. So it's just like you're setting yourself up. It's like the devastation of expectation, because you expected something that you couldn't even give. You expected him to be understanding you, but you're not. Why is that so important? As long as he's not lazy, and he got a steady job, and he's consistent, and he's solid, and he's a go-getter. He's not, he's doing something with his life. He's not just sitting there. he might not be there with you, but he can help build with you. And you never want to talk about what you make because it does something to a man's manhood.
Mm, it does.
It does. I'm not a man, but I can imagine if I was a man and my wife made a whole lot of money and she talking about you only make, that would do something to a man, to his manhood.
Right.
To suggest that I'm really not a man because I don't make what you make, and then you're bringing tension and you're setting up the stage for divorce.
Right. Yeah. And also she did state that she didn't really care about his income level. So that is important. She just wants someone to love.
What the income shouldn't even be
One
something that.
second, one second, Professor. Sorry. So Jazz has got to go. Let's go ahead and say our byes to her. You
Bye,
take
See you
care,
Jazz.
later.
and
Thank
then
you
we'll
for
continue on.
coming.
Thank you very much for coming.
Catch you
See you
later.
guys later.
Go
Bye bye.
ahead, Pete. You good?
Yeah. So the new thing now also, prophetess is I don't know if she's dating online, but I'm assuming. So hey, LeBron.
Hey.
So most of the dating sites now, they actually list your income. We were just discussing this the other day. So they want, I'm just assuming because she did bring income into it.
Not
You have to put your income level. So it's like 40,000, 60,000, and then some people
those
when they're listed at
those are the paid apps. The apps that people actually use, like generally like Tinder and Bumble, you don't have to put your income. Those are like for match. Those are for like business professionals who really want to make sure they're dating and they're.
well then get off the what you said that the business professionals
Yeah, I
dating
don't
sites.
use those. I use
Okay,
Bumble
well
and
go
Match.
down to
I
the
mean
free
Bumble
app
and
sites then, so you don't have to
or
Tinder.
put your income
or
level.
put the lowest income, because what does it matter?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
it shouldn't. And that's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to get at. It should
That's the
not.
No, I
problem.
will.
That's
No,
the
I will.
problem with the
I
world
will.
today. They're
No, I
caught
will
up
say
and
that.
wrapped up in the wrong things. Go ahead, Dennis.
No, I was
Is
gonna
that
say
Barry's mom
culturally.
right there?
Yes,
Yep.
that's Miss Eileen.
Uh,
Hey.
yeah, I was gonna say, culturally speaking, in America, there is a stigma about men making less than a woman. And I put a post up a few months ago, and I said to the fact that I don't have an issue, and people shouldn't have an issue if the woman is making double as much as the man's making. But these kids, need a parent at home at least the first 3-4 years. So
That's true.
I mean, it's nothing wrong with the man being a stay at home dad, but women, the woman or her, she has to make them feel comfortable and don't make them feel any kind of way about
Less
not
than.
making
Yeah.
as much, less than, because
Mhm.
I mean they're gonna save on daycare costs. The
Mhm.
kids gonna get that nurturing that is needed, and
That's
Yes.
not necessarily true, D.
I mean, let me say this last point: men can love kids as much as women can.
Yes. You're right
Okay,
about
LeBron,
that.
you don't agree with that. Go ahead.
Because I did it. Plenty of times when my son was, young, and my my woman wanted to go back to school,
Yeah,
and I adjusted my schedule, all my schedules. Even when I was in school, I adjusted my schedule for my family. Or it been some times where I had to work and she had to work. I had
yeah,
my son at my job with me early in the morning. As parents, you make that happen. Like, I'm the type of man that I'll move mountains for my family, and like it
yeah.
was something that she wanted to pursue. And Cameron at the time was 3, 4 years old, and I just rearranged my schedule and things that with school and work, to you know, uh, help her out,
Mhm.
to make sure she pursued that. She wanted to go to school and finish up the degree. I totally changed my whole schedule around, and took on full time, dad role. I mean, I worked thank God my job worked around my schedule, and I was able to do that. But that's where, parenting, that both parents got to come together, and and it was always for a greater good. Like, if you want to, move forward in life and succeed, we're a unit. So I'm gonna work together. We're gonna work as one, and we're gonna get this done. And then later on, I can do me. That's what a real man makes those sacrifices for his family.
That's true.
Whatever it costs. You don't. There's no questions asked. This is what you want to pursue. Okay, let's plan it. I'm there for you. You
All
know.
right. All righty. And
Can
you
I
know what,
can I
LeBron,
can I can I real can I real
let me
quick?
commend you on that. we love fathers out there that are willing to move heaven and earth for their family. So
Yeah.
I want to commend you for that. Go ahead,
Can I
Dennis.
respond to that real quick? I do want to make a point of saying that the woman, she says she makes 100,000 a year, right?
I don't know what she thinks. She didn't say
Oh,
it.
she just
Yeah,
said
I
she's
thought
a
she
high
did.
earner. She's a
Yeah,
high
so you
actuary.
got to understand in that situation, I get your situation, but most jobs won't allow you to, bring your child to work or work around your schedule. But I get where you're coming from. Men should still figure out a way. But if she's a high earner, then it makes more sense for the man to be stay-at-home wife and maybe or husband and take care of the home, take care of the kids, have that home cooked meal, and maybe work a part-time job if he wants to, or if he has a career, maybe do it part-time instead of full-time. That's what I mean. I mean, it
Okay.
can be both
You be
ways. Just
throwing a
like the
little bit of
woman.
shade in there, Dennis. I heard that stay-at-home wife thing.
No,
But
That's
I'm
what
all
he
for
looking
stay at
for.
home. No, when women were okay being stay at home wives before the feminist movement took over, women were happier. Now, I mean,
Oh
Nah, that's not.
Wait a minute,
I
no,
hold
disagree with
up.
that.
Dennis, Mom, I'm sorry.
I mean, we
He
don't
does
know
this.
that. But
studies show. You can look it up right. You can Google it right now. Studies
I
show
wasn't
women were
in
happier.
that
My
study.
mom was never
Nah,
a
my mom was.
stay-at-home
Mama,
mom.
if my
right.
mom was alive, my mom would disagree because you
I
can
wasn't in
do
that
both.
study.
I'm just saying women are more happy. No woman
LeBron's
wakes
mom
up.
was not a stay-at-home mom.
No
No,
She
woman
worked
wakes.
too.
Okay, you telling me you two, if you can have a husband who's a high earner, who tells you, puts you in a position, he loves you unconditionally, he puts you in a position to be a stay-at-home wife, but also chase your career part time. You telling me you wouldn't jump on that?
no,
Like
my
you wouldn't
mom.
want
Dennis,
Hey, Miss
time
Brown.
Dennis,
apart
Dennis,
if you had the
I
option?
never, Dennis, I never wanted to be home barefoot and pregnant. I am so sorry. I always wanted my own money to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I didn't want to have to rely on a man. That's the reason why I did what I did. I just told you I was a single mother for many, many years. Many years. LeBron met me when he was a little boy,
Yeah,
and I was alone with my kids.
yes, she
But you
was.
you wouldn't you wouldn't allow. But my question to you is, not to be no disrespect, but you wouldn't allow, yourself to be courted by a man at that point, so that we can have two people like funding. Because in America, you need two incomes nowadays. I mean, you can't afford to live by yourself half of the
But
You
time.
said
So
why? I did
because
nowadays,
well by
it makes it
myself.
easier. But
nowadays
what
you said that he
you had to
can't.
work three jobs. You had to work three jobs. I'm pretty
Dennis,
sure
that
you
Right,
wasn't
ain't true.
happy.
That ain't true.
right. And
Cause
it
my
made
I'm
me
just
a
saying you
body.
got to work
stronger
three jobs.
person. It made me a stronger person. I think it was Alora that said, we can be back to the corner, backed all the way, but then we'll still come out fighting.
That's right.
Hmm.
Because I'm not going to let anybody walk all over me or put me in a corner and try to beat me. No,
Not all men are like that. I never hit, and
I'm
there's
not
not one
saying
woman
about
that told
hitting,
me.
sweetheart. That's where you're wrong. It's not about hitting.
No, it's about when
It's
your back
about
is against the wall.
backing me into a corner.
Right.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying all men aren't like that. There's good guys out here, and I'm
Yeah.
saying
But
you could have
but
had a
but let
guy
me
I
that's
know
let
working.
I
me
married a good guy. I know that.
Yeah.
yeah, let me speak to this real quick. Then she's not what she is saying is she wants her own. She likes to go out, earn her own income so she doesn't have to worry about going to her husband and saying, "Hey honey, can I have this or can I have that?" And me being a stay-at-home mom and a wife, let me tell you, this lifestyle is not made for everyone. And no disrespect to my husband because I love him, but there's some times where I'm like, you know what, babe, I want a job because I don't want to have to come and I don't really have to ask for money, but I just want a sense of I've done this myself. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when I created this podcast, this had to be something that I needed to do for me so I can find my place. Because sometimes wives, we cater to our husbands so much that we lose ourselves. So especially when you're a stay-at-home wife and then you're a mom and then it's okay, yes, dear, what you need there, and you lose yourself. What she is saying is she did not want to be that woman. And every woman should have the choice of whether they want to be a stay-at-home wife or if they want to be out here being an earner, because both are equally hard.
Yeah, and I
True.
definitely
No,
agree.
you know the hardest thing for a woman to do. This is a joke. I'm not even gonna make it.
Don't please
Good,
don't.
good on
I'm
you,
not gonna
John.
make
It's
it.
good. We're
But
I
progress.
mean,
elevation, you
Progress.
didn't groove.
but
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make it.
like I didn't grow up with plenty
Here goes
strong women.
Shaka with his
You know,
mess.
friends and foes that there were strong women. just like Brandon's mom, like my aunts were strong women. You know, they didn't have a man. They did it on their own. You know, and pushing a woman back, saying that they need to be stay at home mom. That's their choice. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know. I would want to push women in the dark. I like I said, I view women as my equals. You know,
They
that's
want.
just growing up in the household that I
Yep.
grew up in. You know, that's what I was taught, and my mom was superwoman to me because to
Hmm.
have a career and to deal with three kids and one of them kids got spinal bifida.
Yeah.
You know, that was a hard task, and then she did it all
Yep.
graciously. So and having a strong foundation that we had in our community and looking up to those women, like I mean, I was just amazed. Like every time I go to Brandon's house, and I'm like, man, your mom holding it down, you know. And I mean, I
And
get my hats off because sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes to deal with that on your own, and then me seeing how my dad ended up doing it, it's just amazing because I mean it is challenging.
It
yeah, your
is.
pop struggled for a while, man. My mom used to tell me like he would come to work just like looking like he didn't sleep.
And like and I never got the chance to tell you thank your mom because when all that stuff transpired with my mom, you and your mom was there, you know, checking on us, and you guys didn't have to do that, but I'm thankful that you
Yeah,
guys did, and I always appreciate that.
that was because she met your uncles,
You
Yeah.
see,
through
you
the
see how amazing
CCA
women are,
program.
Dennis. You see how
No,
amazing women are.
I know women. I know women are amazing. That's why I want one. But it's just,
He
I'm
just
just
You
saying. I'm
oh
just
now
saying.
you want one. Hold up, progress. Now he wants
that's
one.
why I
So
want one.
he,
Yeah.
more progress now. He
Dennis,
doesn't need it.
Dennis,
Right. Let
you
me
is
tell
so
you,
funny, dude. You funny.
this show. Oh, this show. Lord, he is
Dennis is
elevating
growing here. I'm
everything.
loving it.
I
I,
I'm
I
just,
see
I'm,
a
am.
I'm
little
just, I'm
growth. I
just
see a
saying, I'm
little
just
growth.
saying, like I would hope in the future I can earn enough to allow my wife to have a choice whether or not if she wants to be a stay-at-home wife, because I know I want to have kids, more kids,
Now that's
or
more
if she
like
wants
it,
to work.
allowing
And
her
if
to
she
have the
chose she wanted
choice.
to
I like
work,
that.
yeah, but if she chose she wanted to work, then I would push her to and hey, go work, go chase your dream, and I'm gonna chase it with you. So I'm with that. I'm just saying I think that women were just more happier 20 years ago, 30 years ago when it wasn't a stigma around being with a man.
Right.
And
And,
both of
and
you guys
Miss
teaming up to,
Eileen.
to earn.
Sorry to cut you off, Dennis. Miss
Go ahead.
Eileen,
You're
I
fine.
want to
Yes.
give you your roses while you are here right now because let me tell you, Brandon's always talking about you, and LeBron has also shared with us how amazing you've been in his life when he lost his mother and to his family. So we want to thank you for being the amazing person that you are. And let me tell you, you are always welcome here at the Lauren Hour because B always tells us how strong his mother is and how he would not be who he is today without you. So I just wanted to give you your roses and tell you we appreciate you here. It's women like
Thank,
you who help mold the future kids of tomorrow.
thank you so very much.
Oh,
Appreciate it. Glad
yeah.
to be here.
I'm gonna
Love you,
come see you
LeBron.
soon.
And,
Okay.
and to my cousin, I want to say this too. My cousin, well, prophetess, I grew up watching her in church and watching her do a praise dance. And I think that's why I'm such a good dancer too, because I got to watch you doing some moves. I remember we'd be at grandma's house over on the shore lines and Uncle Tommy Lee had the chairs out there. We all picking apples and the family just congregating and just watching you do your dance and just talk to everyone and just being so encouraging and just your smile always was so uplifting. And then I also want to shout out my aunts too, like my aunt Thelma, my aunt Sandra, my aunt Darlene, my aunt Jackie, and my mother Rose. I want to shout them out too because those are the women that I watched growing up. And these women have been through so much in their life, yet they still made sure we got to church. They still made sure they got on our cases when need be. And that's how I learned how to conduct myself because my aunts will always tell me, and my aunt Ann, um, God rest her soul, because it's really hard not having her here because that woman prayed me through so much. Like people just don't understand. I had I was trouble back in the day, and
Mhm.
my cousin Joetta, I'm gonna shout her out. Um, they were always on my case, and I always used to feel like I was getting beat down, but it was all love. They were all telling me what I was destined to be. And sometimes you don't see that within yourself. It takes for someone to speak that, to you, and it starts to manifest, and it did manifest. And I wanted to shout out those strong women in my life because I wouldn't have learned so many life lessons and, journey down the paths I journeyed down. I'm so appreciative of all my family. I love all you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's show. I was going to, you know what, real quick, let me do this. The trending corner with Lord D. This really, really, I'm sorry, trying to get myself together. This really hurt me today. Seeing this out of Florida, a 14-year-old boy who fell from a ride and lost his life. I want to send love out to his family. We are thinking about you guys. We are praying for your family. I can't imagine the pain of just seeing something like that happen to your child. So everyone, please, let's take a moment of silence for the young man who lost his life in Florida. Okay. That we're going to conclude our show, guys. Again, Prophetess, thank you for coming on. I so appreciate you. Miss
Thank you for
Eileen.
having me.
Oh, anytime. And anytime you want to come back, you are more than welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here at the Lauren Now podcast. Yes. And Miss Eileen, whenever you want to just pop on, you are more than welcome to. LeBron, thank you for coming in.
Hey, I was gonna make it by any means necessary. I was gonna make it.
Oh, we appreciate dedication. We appreciate that. B, my co-host, I always appreciate you. My right hand, that is my right hand right there. D Page, you didn't shock me today, so I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Growth. That's what we're all
The
about.
word of the day, D, growth.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you're gonna be okay.
I like it.
I always give words of wisdom. Anyone want to give any words of wisdom today?
Let my Maja do it. Go ahead.
All
And
right,
then
Miss Eileen.
I want
She
prophetic.
said,
I want Miss Prophetess.
I'd rather have Miss Prophetess let us out with
"Prophetess."
a word because I know she's got a word.
She is blessed.
You know, I believe that on this show that we in some type of way we have taken on some meat and throw out the bones on what pertains to us, and it's called it's evolving. Sometimes there's growing pains,
Mhm.
but wisdom is to encompass the knowledge that we have gained and live it out with understanding. You know, because as the Bible says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get it, but with all that getting understanding, and we understanding that it's necessary, like the air that we breathe, that we evolve and be a better version of ourselves, because we don't want to see a repeat of ourselves on tomorrow,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. So I
Yes.
got to be a better version of me than I am on tomorrow, and you as well. And it's important that we process with wisdom and don't let what has been said that we really need to go in one ear and out the other,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can grow. And sometimes it's difficult to grow because it's growth stretches us, and then it challenges us.
Mhm.
Where there's no challenge, there's no change.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Mhm. That is true.
Where there's no challenge, there's no change. So it's
Mhm.
necessary that we change. And I thank my cousin for allowing me on here, talking about empowerment. The best thing that you can ever do for yourself is to understand that a better version of you awaits you.
I love that. I love that.
A better
That
version of you awaits you.
Let me write that down. You know what? Because that's what we're going with today. A better version of you awaits you. There we
Thank you for
go.
allowing me to speak.
Oh, no problem. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate all you guys so much. So guys, there it is. A better version of you is awaiting you. So this has been the Lauren Our podcast with your girl Laura Dannon. Thank you guys for watching and listening. And do not forget, if you guys are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, or iHeartRadio, or any other platforms, please do not forget to head over to YouTube, click the like, share, and subscribe button, and tune in and to look at our beautiful faces. Look at this panel. Everyone here is so beautiful and handsome. And just look at the reactions. If you're watching on Facebook, please head over to YouTube, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And again, we want to thank all our viewers for tuning in. We know that you guys have other things to do with your time, but you took the time to be here. So we appreciate you guys. Be well and be prosperous.
On purpose.